Maya Kim had been on her feet for 9 hours straight. Her black shoes were old and worn, and they hurt her feet with every step. She carried a tray of plates to table 7, forcing a smile on her tired face. The morning shift had turned into a double shift because another waitress called in sick. Maya could not say no. She needed every dollar she could earn. The diner was busy that Tuesday afternoon. People sat at almost every table eating lunch and talking loudly. The kitchen was hot and the orders kept coming. Maya moved between tables, taking orders, bringing food, refilling coffee cups. Her lower back ached. Her shoulders felt tight and sore. But she kept moving, kept smiling, kept working. Maya was 24 years old. She had graduated from college 2 years ago with a degree in graphic design. She thought she would have a good job by now, working in an office, creating beautiful things on a computer, but life had other plans. Her mother got sick 6 months ago. Cancer. The medical bills started piling up like snow in winter. Maya's student loans were already hard to pay. Now she had her mother's hospital bills too, so she worked. She worked morning shifts and night shifts. She worked weekends and holidays. This diner job was supposed to be temporary, just until she found something better. But better never came. Every job interview ended the same way. They wanted someone with more experience. They wanted someone who could start immediately and work late hours. Maya already worked late hours, but at a diner, not designing logos and websites. The manager, Mr. Harrison, was a short man with a round belly and thin hair. He cared more about good reviews than good employees. He smiled at customers and frowned at his staff. Maya tried to stay on his good side, but it was not easy. He criticized everything. Her uniform was not clean enough. Her smile was not bright enough. She was too slow, or too fast, or too something. At 2 o'clock, a man in an expensive suit walked in and sat at table 12. Maya grabbed a menu and walked over to him. He did not look up from his phone. She stood there waiting. After a long moment, she said, "Good afternoon, sir.
Can I get you something to drink?"
He glanced up, his face cold and annoyed. "Coffee, black, and make it quick." Maya nodded and walked to the coffee station. She poured a fresh cup, making sure it was hot. She carried it carefully back to table 12 and placed it gently in front of him. "Here you go, sir. Are you ready to order, or do you need a few minutes?" The man picked up the cup and took a sip. Then his face twisted in disgust. "This is cold," he said loudly. Other customers looked over. "What kind of place serves cold coffee?" Maya felt her face get hot. "I'm sorry, sir. I just poured it fresh. Let me get you another cup." "No," the man said sharply. "I don't want another cup from you. You clearly don't know how to do your job." Maya's hand shook a little. She reached for the cup to take it back to the kitchen. As she picked it up, the man suddenly jerked his arm forward. The cup tipped over. Hot coffee spilled across the table and splashed onto Maya's white shirt and black apron. The dark liquid spread across the fabric, staining it immediately. Maya gasped and stepped back. The coffee was hot against her skin, soaking through her shirt. She grabbed napkins from her apron pocket and tried to blot the stain. Her heart pounded in her chest. This was not an accident. She had seen the way he moved his arm. "He did it on purpose. Look what you did," the man shouted, standing up. His voice was loud enough for everyone to hear. "You spilled coffee all over me. This suit costs more than you make in a month." But there was no coffee on his suit. It was all on Maya. She opened her mouth to speak, to explain what really happened, but her throat felt tight. Other customers stared at her. Some whispered to each other. Nobody said anything to help her. Mr. Harrison rushed over from behind the counter. His face was red and worried. "What happened here?" he demanded. The man in the suit pointed at Maya. "Your waitress is completely incompetent. She spilled hot coffee everywhere. Look at this mess. I could sue this place." "I'm so sorry, sir," Mr. Harrison said quickly. He did not even look at Maya. "Please sit down. Your meal is on the house today. Anything you want." "I'm so sorry." Then Mr. Harrison turned to Maya. His voice became hard and cold. "Maya, what were you thinking? How could you be so careless?" "But I didn't," Maya started to say. Not another word. Mr. Harrison cut her off. "Go to the back and change your shirt. You look completely unprofessional. And when you come back, you'll apologize to this gentleman properly." Maya felt tears burning in her eyes. This was not fair. She did not spill the coffee. The man did it on purpose, but nobody would believe her. Nobody ever believed the waitress over the customer. She nodded, not trusting her voice to speak, and walked quickly toward the back room. Behind her, she could hear Mr. Harrison apologizing again and again to the man in the suit. In the small staff room, Maya looked at herself in the mirror. The coffee stain covered the front of her shirt. It looked terrible. She had one spare shirt in her locker, but it was not very clean. She had been meaning to do laundry, but she worked so much that she never had time. Maya pulled off the stained shirt and put on the spare one. It was wrinkled and had a small stain from last week, but it was better than the coffee-soaked one. She splashed cold water on her face, trying to wash away the tears that wanted to come. She could not cry at work. Mr. Harrison hated when employees cried in front of customers. He said it made the diner look bad. She took deep breaths, trying to calm down. Her hands still shook. She felt humiliated and angry and sad all at once. This job was awful, but she needed it. She could not quit. Her mother needed her. The medical bills needed to be paid. The student loans needed their monthly payment. She had no choice but to go back out there, smile, and keep working. When Maya walked back onto the floor, several customers glanced at her and then looked away quickly. They had seen what happened. They had watched her get blamed for something she did not do. But none of them said anything. They just went back to their meals, their conversations, their own lives. Maya was just a waitress. Her problems did not matter to them. She picked up her order pad and walked to table 5 where a family was waiting. The mother gave her a sympathetic look but said nothing. Maya took their order, her voice steady even though she felt like breaking down. She brought them water and silverware. She did her job. The man in the suit stayed for another hour. He ordered an expensive steak and dessert. He ate slowly, making comments about the service every time Maya walked past his table. Mr. Harrison hovered nearby, making sure everything was perfect. The man finally left without leaving a tip, but Mr. Harrison thanked him for his patience and understanding. Maya wanted to scream. She wanted to tell everyone what really happened, but she just kept working, kept moving, kept serving. Her shift would end at 6 o'clock. She just had to make it until then. Just 4 more hours. She could do this. She had to do this. At 4:30, the diner door opened. A tall man walked in wearing jeans and a simple gray t-shirt. He wore sunglasses and a baseball cap pulled low. He looked around the diner for a moment, then walked to a small table in the corner away from the other customers. He sat down and pulled out his phone. Maya grabbed a menu and walked over to his table. She was exhausted. Her feet hurt. Her back hurt. Her heart hurt. But she put on her professional smile one more time. "Good afternoon," she said. "Can I get you something to drink?" The man looked up at Maya. He had a kind face, she noticed. Even with sunglasses on, there was something gentle about him. He smiled. "Just coffee for now, please. Black, no sugar." Maya nodded and walked back to the coffee station. Her hands were still shaking a little from what had happened earlier. She poured the coffee carefully, making sure it was fresh and hot. She did not want another problem today. She carried the cup back to the corner table and set it down gently in front of the man. "Thank you," he said. His voice was deep but quiet. He seemed like he wanted to be left alone, so Maya started to walk away. But then he said, "Miss, are you okay?" Maya stopped. She turned back to him, confused. "Yes, sir. I'm fine. Do you need anything else?" The man took off his sunglasses and looked at her directly. His eyes were concerned. "Your eyes are red, and your hands are shaking. I don't mean to be rude, but you don't seem fine." Maya felt her throat get tight again. A stranger was showing her more kindness than anyone else had all day. She blinked quickly, trying not to cry. "I'm okay," she said. "Just a long shift. Can I get you anything to eat?" The man studied her face for a moment longer, then nodded slowly. "I'll take a burger. Whatever you recommend. And some fries." Maya wrote down his order and walked to the kitchen. She handed the ticket to the cook and leaned against the wall for just a moment. She was so tired. Not just physically tired, but tired deep in her bones. Tired of being treated badly. Tired of working so hard for so little. Tired of pretending everything was fine when it was not. She brought water and silverware to the man's table. He was watching the other customers, his expression thoughtful. When she set down the water, he said, "I've worked in restaurants before. Long time ago. I know how hard it is." Maya gave him a small, real smile this time. "Thank you. Not many people remember that." As she walked away, she noticed the man in the expensive suit was back. He must have forgotten something, she thought. Her stomach dropped. He was talking to Mr. Harrison again, and both of them kept looking at her. This could not be good. Maya tried to focus on her other tables. She brought food to table 8. She refilled drinks at table 3. She cleared plates from table 10, but she could feel eyes on her. The man in the suit was still talking to Mr. Harrison. They were talking for a long time. Finally, Mr. Harrison called her over. His face looked angry. "Maya, come here now." Maya walked over slowly. The man in the suit stood next to Mr. Harrison with his arms crossed. He had a mean smile on his face. Other customers were starting to notice something was happening. "This gentleman says you were rude to him earlier," Mr. Harrison said. His voice was loud, making sure others could hear. "He says you gave him attitude when he complained about the coffee." Maya felt her heart sink. "That's not true. I apologized and tried to help. Don't interrupt me," Mr. Harrison snapped. "He also says you deliberately spilled the coffee to make him look bad." "What?" "No," Maya's voice rose. "That's not what happened at all. He knocked the cup over himself." The man in the suit laughed. "Now she's calling me a liar. This is exactly the kind of disrespect I'm talking about. If I were you, I'd fire her on the spot." Mr. Harrison's face got redder. He was embarrassed in front of a customer. In front of many customers, actually, because everyone was watching now. "Maya, I've had enough of your behavior today. You're suspended, effective immediately. Leave your apron and go home. We'll discuss whether you still have a job here tomorrow." Maya could not believe what she was hearing. Suspended? For something she did not do? "Mr. Harrison, please. I need this job. I didn't do anything wrong. He's lying about what happened." "I said leave," Mr. Harrison said coldly. "Now, before I call security." The diner was not big enough to have security, but Maya understood the threat. Her face felt hot. Her eyes burned with tears that she could not hold back anymore. Everyone was staring at her. Everyone thought she was the problem. She started to untie her apron with trembling fingers. Then a deep voice spoke from across the room. "Excuse me. I saw what happened." Everyone turned. The man from the corner table was standing up. He walked slowly across the diner toward them. As he got closer, some of the customers started whispering. A few pointed at him. One woman pulled out her phone. The man stopped a few feet away from Mr. Harrison and the man in the suit. He was tall, very tall, and his presence seemed to fill the space. Now Maya could see his face clearly without the sunglasses and cap. He looked familiar, like she had seen him somewhere before, but she could not place where. "I was sitting over there," the man said, pointing to his table. "I had a clear view of what happened at table 12 earlier." Mr. Harrison's angry expression changed. He suddenly looked nervous. "Sir, I don't think—" "I saw the whole thing," the man continued. His voice was calm but firm. "This young lady brought coffee to that table." She set it down carefully. "Then this gentleman," he gestured to the man in the suit, deliberately moved his arm and knocked the cup over. The coffee spilled on her, not on him. The man in the suit's face turned red. "That's ridiculous. You must be mistaken." "I'm not mistaken," the man said. He looked directly at the man in the suit. "I saw exactly what you did, and I'll be happy to tell anyone who asks, including a lawyer if this goes that far, exactly what I witnessed." More customers started whispering. Maya recognized some of the whispers now. "Is that— It looks like him." "Oh my God, I think it is." Mr. Harrison seemed frozen. He kept looking between the tall man and the man in the suit. He was clearly recognizing who was speaking, and he looked like he did not know what to do. "Furthermore," the tall man continued, "I've been watching how your staff treats each other and how you handle your customers. This young lady has been nothing but professional, even when she was treated poorly. She didn't deserve to be humiliated in front of everyone." An older woman at table 6 spoke up suddenly. "He's right. I saw it too. That man knocked the coffee over himself. I didn't say anything before, but I saw it happen. The waitress didn't do anything wrong." A younger man at table 9 nodded. "Yeah, I saw it too. It was pretty obvious what happened." The man in the suit looked around. People were staring at him now instead of Maya. His face was very red. "This is absurd," he said loudly. "I don't have to stand here and be accused like this." He turned and walked quickly toward the door. He left without another word. The diner was very quiet. Mr. Harrison stood there, his mouth opening and closing like a fish. He finally looked at Maya. "Well," he said weakly, "I suppose there was a misunderstanding." "No," the tall man said firmly. There was no misunderstanding. You publicly humiliated your employee without even asking for her side of the story. You believed a customer who was lying and you were about to fire someone who needed your support. Mr. Harrison's face went from red to pale. He looked terrified now. I was just trying to handle a difficult situation. Customer service is important. So is treating your employees with respect, the tall man said. They're people, not machines, and they deserve to be listened to. Maya stood there, tears running down her face now. But these were different tears. Someone had stood up for her. Multiple people had finally told the truth about what happened. After hours of feeling alone and blamed, someone had defended her. The tall man turned to Maya. His expression softened. Are you all right? Maya wiped her eyes with the back of her hand. Thank you, she whispered. Thank you so much. Nobody stood up for me like that before. You shouldn't have to go through that, he said gently. Nobody should. Mr. Harrison cleared his throat. Maya, you can go back to work. You're not suspended. I'm sorry for the confusion. The tall man looked at Mr. Harrison with a steady gaze. Is there somewhere we can talk? The three of us? Privately? Mr. Harrison nodded quickly. Yes, of course, my office. Right this way. As they walked toward the back, Maya noticed everyone was still staring. Some people were definitely taking pictures on their phones now. She followed the two men into Mr. Harrison's small office, her mind racing. Who was this man, and why did people seem to recognize him? Mr. Harrison's office was small and cramped. There was a desk covered with papers, a filing cabinet, and 2 old chairs. The walls were painted a dull beige color. A calendar from 2 years ago still hung on one wall. The tall man closed the door behind them, giving them privacy. Mr. Harrison sat behind his desk, trying to look like he was in control. But Maya could see his hands were shaking slightly. He kept glancing at the tall man with nervous eyes. Now, sir, I want you to know that we take customer service very seriously here. Today was just an unfortunate situation. Stop, the tall man said quietly. He remained standing. Maya stood too, not sure what to do. Let's be honest about what happened today. You have an employee who's been working hard all day. A customer deliberately caused a problem and blamed her. Instead of investigating or asking questions, you immediately sided with the customer. You blamed your employee publicly. You humiliated her in front of everyone. You were about to fire her. Mr. Harrison shifted in his chair. Well, in this business, the customer is always right. We have to— No, the tall man interrupted. The customer is not always right. Sometimes customers lie. Sometimes customers bully staff because they know they can get away with it. And when managers don't protect their employees, it tells everyone that it's okay to treat service workers badly. Maya listened, still surprised that this was happening. She had never heard anyone talk to Mr. Harrison this way. He was always the one giving lectures and making demands. The tall man continued. I've worked in service. I've had jobs where people treated me like I was invisible or worthless. I know what it feels like. And I learned something important from those experiences. How you treat people says everything about who you are, not about who they are. Mr. Harrison nodded quickly. Yes, of course. You're absolutely right. I should have handled things differently. Maya, I apologize, but his voice was flat. He was saying the words because he felt he had to, not because he meant them. The tall man seemed to notice this too. He turned to Maya. Can I ask you something? How long have you worked here? Almost a year, Maya said quietly. And is today typical? Or unusual? Maya hesitated. She did not want to make trouble. But the tall man's eyes were kind and he genuinely seemed to care. She took a breath. Today was worse than usual, but it's not great most days. Customers can be difficult. And Mr. Harrison usually sides with them even when they're wrong. I see, the tall man said. He looked back at Mr. Harrison. Do you pay your staff fairly? Do they get benefits? Sick days. Mr. Harrison looked uncomfortable. We follow all the legal requirements. We pay minimum wage as the law requires. Minimum wage, the tall man repeated. For someone working double shifts, dealing with difficult people all day, running around on their feet for hours. He shook his head. You know what I think? I think you're taking advantage of people who need work. People who can't afford to quit even when they're treated poorly. Now wait just a minute, Mr. Harrison started. How much do you pay yourself? The tall man asked. I bet it's more than minimum wage. I bet you have health insurance and sick days. Mr. Harrison's face turned red again. That's different. I'm the manager. I have responsibilities. So does she, the tall man said, gesturing to Maya. She has responsibilities too. Bills to pay. People depending on her. But you don't care about that, do you? You just care about making sure customers spend money here even if they're terrible people. The room was quiet for a moment. Maya could hear her own heartbeat. She had never imagined having someone defend her like this, someone who understood what her life was actually like. The tall man turned back to Maya. His voice became gentler. Can I ask what keeps you here? Why do you stay in a job where you're treated this way? Maya felt the tears coming back. She blinked hard. I need the money. My mother is sick. She has cancer. The medical bills are really expensive. And I have student loans too. I can't afford to quit. I've looked for other jobs, but nobody wants to hire me. They all want more experience, or they want someone who can work different hours. Or... She trailed off, feeling embarrassed about sharing so much with a stranger. But the tall man nodded with understanding. I'm sorry about your mother. That must be really hard. Thank you, Maya whispered. He was quiet for a moment, thinking. Then he said, what if you could work somewhere else? Somewhere that paid better and treated you with respect? Maya let out a sad laugh. That would be amazing. But like I said, I've applied to so many places. Nobody calls me back. What if I could help with that? Maya looked at him confused. What do you mean? Mr. Harrison suddenly spoke up. Sir, I'm sure we can work something out here. Maya is a valued employee. I'll give her a raise. How about an extra $1 per hour? The tall man gave Mr. Harrison a look that made the manager shrink back in his chair. An extra $1 per hour? How generous. His voice was heavy with sarcasm. That's still barely enough to survive on, especially in Los Angeles. He pulled out his phone and started typing. I have friends in the restaurant and hospitality business. Real professionals who know how to run good establishments. Places where staff are treated well and paid fairly. He looked at Maya. Would you be interested in some introductions? Maya's eyes went wide. Really, you would do that? Yes, he said simply. Everyone deserves to work in a place where they're valued. You work hard. You deserve better than this. Mr. Harrison stood up quickly. Now hold on. You can't just come in here and steal my employees. This isn't fair. The tall man looked at him coldly. What's not fair is how you've been treating her. She's free to work wherever she wants. I'm just offering to help her find better options. He turned back to Maya and smiled. My burger is probably ready by now. Why don't you finish your shift and we can talk more before I leave? If you're interested in those introductions, I'll set them up. No pressure. It's your choice, Maya nodded, unable to find words. This felt like a dream. Like maybe she was so tired that she was imagining all of this. The tall man opened the door and walked back out to the main dining area. Maya followed, still in a daze. Mr. Harrison came out too, looking upset and confused. Maya went to the kitchen and picked up the burger order. Her hands were steadier now. She brought it to the corner table where the tall man had returned to sitting. She set down the plate carefully. Thank you, he said. Then more quietly, and think about what I said. You don't have to stay somewhere that makes you miserable. Thank you, Maya managed to say. I don't even know your name, he smiled. I'm Vin Diesel. Maya's mouth fell open. Vin Diesel, the movie star. She had seen his films. Everyone had. That was why people were taking pictures. That was why Mr. Harrison looked so nervous. A famous person was sitting in their diner and he had just called out the manager for treating staff poorly. Oh my God, Maya said quietly. I'm so sorry. I didn't recognize you. I must seem so stupid. Don't apologize, Vin said warmly. I prefer when people don't recognize me. It's nice to just be treated like a regular person sometimes. And you're not stupid at all. You're working hard and dealing with a difficult situation. That takes strength. Maya felt overwhelmed. Her legs felt weak. Thank you, really, I don't know what else to say. You don't have to say anything, Vin said. Just finish your shift and we'll talk after. Okay, Maya nodded. She walked back to check on her other tables, but her mind was spinning. Vin Diesel was sitting in her diner. He had stood up for her. He had seen through the lies the customer told, and now he was offering to help her find a better job. The other waitresses kept looking at her and whispering. Some customers asked her if that was really Vin Diesel in the corner. She nodded but did not say much. She just focused on doing her job. Mr. Harrison stayed in his office for a long time. When he finally came out, he avoided looking at Maya. He was probably worried about what Vin might say to other people about how this diner was run. The rest of Maya's shift passed in a blur. She brought food and drinks to tables. She cleared plates and wiped down surfaces. But her mind was somewhere else. She kept thinking about what Vin had said, about deserving better, about working somewhere she was valued, about not staying in a place that made her miserable. Was it really possible? Could she actually find a better job? With better pay? In a place where she was treated with respect? It seemed too good to be true. But Vin Diesel had promised to help, and he had already helped her so much today just by telling the truth about what happened. At 6 o'clock, Maya's shift finally ended. She took off her apron and washed her hands. Her whole body ached with tiredness, but her heart felt lighter than it had in months. She walked back out to the dining area. Vin was still sitting at his table, waiting. Maya walked slowly toward Vin's table. Her shift was over, but she felt nervous. She had never talked to a famous person before. She did not know what to say or how to act. Vin looked up from his phone and smiled at her. It was a warm, genuine smile that made her feel a little less nervous. "Your shift is done?" he asked. Maya nodded. "Yes, thank you again for what you did earlier. Nobody has ever stood up for me like that. Can you sit for a minute?" Vin gestured to the chair across from him. "Unless you need to get home right away." Maya glanced at the clock. She should probably go home. She was exhausted, but this opportunity felt important. She sat down carefully, keeping her hands folded in her lap. "I have a little time." Vin put his phone away and gave her his full attention. "Tell me about yourself. What did you study in college?" "Graphic design," Maya said. "I graduated 2 years ago. I wanted to work for an advertising agency or maybe a tech company, design logos, websites, marketing materials, that kind of thing. But you ended up here instead," Vin said. It was not a question. Maya nodded. "I couldn't find a job in my field. Every place wanted someone with 3 to 5 years of experience. But how do you get experience if nobody will hire you? So I took this job temporarily, just to pay bills while I kept looking. But then my mom got sick and I needed more hours, more money. The job search got pushed aside." "What kind of cancer does your mother have?" Vin asked gently. "Breast cancer. Stage 3. She's doing chemotherapy now. The treatments are really expensive, even with insurance. And she can't work anymore, so I'm paying for everything. Her rent, her groceries, her medical bills, plus my own rent and my student loans." Maya felt her voice shake a little. She was so tired of worrying about money. "I'm just trying to keep everything together, you know? Some days I feel like I'm drowning." Vin listened carefully. He did not interrupt or try to fix everything with easy answers. He just listened, and that felt good. When Maya finished talking, he was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "I understand what that feels like. Being overwhelmed, feeling stuck. I've been there." Maya looked at him with surprise. "Really? But you're Vin Diesel. You're famous and successful." Vin laughed quietly. "I wasn't always famous. Before I became an actor, I worked all kinds of jobs. I was a bouncer at nightclubs. I worked in restaurants just like you. I struggled to pay rent. I slept on friends' couches. There were times when I thought I would never make it, that my dreams were stupid and impossible." Maya listened, fascinated. It was strange to think of someone so successful having those kinds of struggles. "What kept you going?" she asked. "A few things," Vin said. "One was that I loved what I did. I loved acting and creating stories. Even when it was hard, even when nobody believed in me, I still loved it. The other thing was that people helped me along the way. Not many people, but enough. Someone would give me a chance or introduce me to someone else or believe in me when I needed it. Those moments of kindness changed my life." He leaned forward slightly. "That's why I try to help when I can. Because I remember what it was like to need help. And I know that sometimes one person paying attention, one person speaking up can change everything." Maya felt tears in her eyes again, but good tears this time. "You changed everything for me today. If you hadn't been here, I would be suspended right now. Maybe fired, and nobody would have cared that I was innocent. I'm glad I was here," Vin said. "But you shouldn't have to rely on luck or coincidence for basic fairness. You should work in a place where management protects you, not throws you under the bus." He pulled out his phone again. "I meant what I said about making introductions. I have friends who own restaurants and hotels here in LA. Good places. They pay well. They treat staff with respect. They offer real benefits. If you're interested, I can make some calls. Get you interviews." Maya's heart started beating faster. "You would really do that for me?" Of course, Vin said simply. Why not? Because you don't know me. We just met. I'm nobody special. Vin shook his head firmly. Don't say that. You are special. You're working multiple shifts to take care of your sick mother. You stay professional even when customers treat you badly. You haven't given up, even though things are really hard. That shows character. That shows strength. Any employer should be lucky to have you. Maya wiped her eyes. She could not remember the last time someone spoke to her with such kindness and respect. I would love those introductions. Thank you, I mean it. Thank you so much, good, Vin said. He started typing on his phone. I'm texting a few people right now. There's a restaurant in West Hollywood called Bella Vista. The owner is a friend of mine. His name is Michael Chen. Great guy, runs a classy place. They're always looking for good staff. He kept typing. There's also a boutique hotel in Santa Monica. The general manager is someone I've known for years. Very professional operation. They pay their people well. Maya watched him type, still unable to believe this was happening. A movie star was sitting in this diner, making phone calls on her behalf. It felt unreal. Vin looked up. I'm also going to give you the contact information for some organizations that help with medical bills. They work with families dealing with cancer. They can't pay for everything, but they might be able to help with some costs. Every little bit makes a difference, right? Right, Maya whispered. She felt overwhelmed with gratitude. Vin's phone buzzed. He looked at the screen and smiled. Michael already responded. He says he'd love to meet you. He asked if you could come in for an interview tomorrow afternoon. Would that work? Tomorrow? Maya's mind raced. She was supposed to work tomorrow, but she could call in sick. After what happened today, Mr. Harrison owed her that much. Yes, she said. Yes, that would work. Great. Vin typed another message. I'm sending you Michael's contact info and the restaurant address. You have my number now, too. If you need anything or if you have questions, you can text me. Maya looked at her phone as the messages came through. She had Vin Diesel's phone number. This was the strangest, most wonderful day of her life. Can I ask you something? Maya said quietly. Of course, man, why are you doing this? Really? You could have just eaten your burger and left. You could have ignored what happened like everyone else did. Why did you get involved? Vin was quiet for a moment. He seemed to be choosing his words carefully. Because it was the right thing to do. Because I've seen too many people get walked over and I'm tired of it. Because power and status shouldn't mean you can treat people badly. And because, then he paused. Because when I was struggling, someone helped me. A director gave me my first real chance when nobody else would. He didn't have to. But he did. And he told me, when you make it, remember to help the next person. So that's what I'm doing. Maya felt a lump in her throat. If I get one of these jobs, if things get better, I'll remember this. I'll help the next person too. I promise. Good, Vin said. He smiled. That's how it should work. We all help each other. We all look out for each other. Nobody should have to fight alone. They sat there for a moment in comfortable silence. The diner had emptied out. Most of the dinner rush had not started yet. It was just the two of them, and a cook in the back and one other waitress cleaning tables. Can I give you one piece of advice? Vin asked. Please, Maya said. When you go to these interviews, don't sell yourself short. Don't apologize for what you don't have. Focus on what you do have. You're hardworking. You're reliable. You can handle pressure. You can deal with difficult situations with grace. Those are valuable skills. Any good manager will see that. Maya nodded, taking in his words. And one more thing, Vin continued. Don't stay in a job that makes you feel small. Life is too short for that. You deserve to wake up and not dread going to work. You deserve to be treated with dignity. Don't settle for less than that, okay? Okay, Maya said. She meant it. Vin stood up and pulled out his wallet. He left several $100 bills on the table, way more than the cost of his burger and coffee. This is for you, he said. Not for the restaurant, for you. Consider it a tip or a gift or whatever you want to call it. Use it for your mom's medical bills or for gas to get to interviews or for whatever you need. Maya stared at the money. It was more than she made in 2 weeks at the diner. I can't take this. It's too much. Yes, you can, Vin said gently. And it's not too much. It's just a little help when you need it. We all need help sometimes. There's no shame in that. Maya carefully picked up the bills and put them in her pocket. Her hands were shaking. Thank you. I don't know how to thank you enough. You already did, Vin said. Now go home. Get some rest. You have an interview tomorrow? You're going to do great. He walked toward the door, then stopped and turned back. Maya, what you're doing for your mother? Taking care of her, working hard to pay for her treatment? That's love. That's real strength. Don't ever forget that you're doing something beautiful even on the hard days. Then he was gone, walking out into the LA evening. Maya stood there for a long moment, just breathing. She felt like something fundamental had shifted in her life. Like maybe things could actually get better. Like maybe she did not have to just survive anymore. Maybe she could actually live. Maya drove home in a daze. The money Vin had given her sat in her purse on the passenger seat. She kept glancing at it, making sure it was real and not something she had imagined. Her old car made strange noises as she drove through Los Angeles traffic, but tonight she barely noticed. Her mind was too full of everything that had happened. When she got to her small apartment, she dropped her bag on the floor and sat on the edge of her bed. The apartment was tiny, just one room with a bathroom and a small kitchen area. But it was hers and it was clean. She had worked hard to keep it that way, even when she was exhausted. She pulled out her phone and looked at the messages Vin had sent. The address for Bella Vista Restaurant, Michael Chen's phone number, information about organizations that helped with medical expenses, and Vin's own number in case she needed anything. Maya called her mother. The phone rang 3 times before a weak voice answered. Hello? Hi, Mom, it's me. How are you feeling? Tired, her mother said. The chemo always makes me so tired. But I'm okay. How was work? Maya almost laughed. How was work? It had been the strangest day of her life. Mom, something incredible happened today. I don't even know where to start. Tell me, her mother said. Maya could hear her trying to sound more alert, more interested. Even when she was sick and exhausted, she still wanted to be there for her daughter. So Maya told her everything. The man in the suit who spilled coffee and blamed her, Mr. Harrison suspending her in front of everyone, and then Vin Diesel walking in and standing up for her, defending her when nobody else would, offering to help her find better jobs, giving her money and contacts and hope. Her mother was quiet for a long moment after Maya finished. Then she said, Is this real? Did this really happen? I know it sounds crazy, Maya said. But yes, it really happened. I have an interview tomorrow at a nice restaurant. A really nice one, Mom. The kind where servers probably make good tips and have actual benefits. Her mother started crying. Maya could hear it through the phone. My daughter, she said softly. You've been working so hard. You deserve something good to happen. You deserve all the good things. Don't cry, Mom, Maya said, even though she was crying too. This is good. This is really good. I know, her mother said. I'm crying because I'm happy. And relieved. I've been so worried about you. Working yourself to death at that terrible diner. Dealing with those awful people. I felt so guilty that you had to do all of this because of me. Mom, no, Maya said firmly. You're my mother. Taking care of you isn't a burden. It's what family does. I just wish I could do more. You do so much already, her mother said. More than I could ever ask for. And now maybe things will get a little easier. Maybe you can breathe a little. They talked for a while longer. Maya told her mother about Vin's advice, about the medical bill organizations, about the other job opportunities he had mentioned. By the time they hung up, both of them felt lighter, more hopeful than they had in months. Maya took a long shower, letting the hot water wash away the stress and tiredness of the day. She thought about what to wear to the interview tomorrow. She did not have many nice clothes, but she had one good black dress and a cardigan that looked professional. That would have to work. She looked up Bella Vista Restaurant on her phone. The website showed a beautiful place with white tablecloths and elegant lighting. The menu featured Italian food and the reviews were excellent. People praised the food, the atmosphere, and especially the service. Staff here are knowledgeable and friendly, one review said. You can tell they actually care about their jobs. That was what Maya wanted. A place where people cared, where staff were treated well enough that they could afford to care about their work. She imagined herself working there, wearing a nice uniform, serving people who appreciated good service, making enough money to help her mother without working herself into exhaustion. Before bed, Maya sent a text message to the number Vin had given her. Thank you again for everything you did today. I have my interview tomorrow at 2 p.m. I'll let you know how it goes. She did not expect a response. He was probably busy being famous and important. But a few minutes later, her phone buzzed. Good luck. You've got this. Remember what I said, don't sell yourself short. You have real value to offer. Maya read the message 3 times, then saved it. She wanted to be able to look at it again when she felt nervous tomorrow. The next morning, Maya woke up early. She called the diner and told them she was sick and could not come in. It was not completely a lie. She felt sick thinking about going back there after everything that had happened. Mr. Harrison sounded annoyed but accepted her excuse. She did not tell him about the interview. That was none of his business. She spent the morning preparing. She practiced what she would say. She researched the restaurant more, learning about their menu and their history. She ironed her dress and polished her shoes until they looked as good as they could. She styled her hair neatly and put on a little makeup. At 1:30, Maya drove to West Hollywood. The traffic was bad, as always in Los Angeles, but she had left early. She found parking a block away from the restaurant and sat in her car for a moment, breathing deeply and trying to calm her nerves. You can do this, she told herself. You're good at this work. You know how to serve people well. Just be yourself. She walked to the restaurant at exactly 2 o'clock. Bella Vista was even more beautiful in person than in photos. The exterior had large windows and elegant architecture. Through the windows, she could see the dining room with its white tablecloths and soft lighting. Even from outside, it looked classy and professional. Maya walked in through the front door. A hostess greeted her with a warm smile. Welcome to Bella Vista. Do you have a reservation? I'm actually here for an interview with Michael Chen, Maya said. My name is Maya Kim. Oh yes, the hostess said. He's expecting you. Please follow me. The hostess led Maya through the dining room. It was beautiful. Clean and elegant, but not stuffy. The tables were set with real silverware and cloth napkins. A few early diners sat at their tables, enjoying their meals. The whole atmosphere felt calm and professional. They went through a door into the back. The kitchen was visible, busy with cooks preparing for the dinner rush. Everything looked organized and clean. The hostess knocked on a door marked manager and then opened it. Maya Kim is here for her interview, the hostess said. A man stood up from behind a desk. He was in his 40s, Asian American, with a friendly face and a professional demeanor. He wore a nice suit and had an easy smile. Maya, thank you for coming. I'm Michael Chen. Please have a seat. Maya sat in the chair across from his desk. Michael sat back down and looked at her with interest. So Vin tells me you're an excellent worker who deserves better opportunities. He doesn't make recommendations lightly, so I'm very interested to meet you. Maya felt her face get warm. He was very kind to me. I'm grateful for the introduction. Tell me about yourself, Michael said. What's your background? What kind of work have you been doing? Maya took a breath and began. She told him about her degree in graphic design, about how she had taken the diner job temporarily. She explained about her mother's illness and how she needed reliable income. She talked about her year of experience serving customers, dealing with difficult situations and working under pressure. Michael listened carefully, asking questions occasionally. He did not seem bothered by her lack of traditional experience in fine dining. Instead, he seemed interested in her attitude and her work ethic. I've worked in restaurants my whole adult life, Michael said. Started as a dishwasher when I was 16. Worked my way up over 20 years. You know what I've learned? Technical skills can be taught, but attitude and character cannot. I can teach someone how to open a wine bottle properly or describe our menu items, but I cannot teach someone to care about their work or treat people with respect. Those things either exist in a person or they don't. Maya nodded, listening carefully. Vin told me a little about what happened yesterday at your current job, Michael continued. He said you were blamed for something you didn't do, and nobody stood up for you except him. That must have been difficult. It was, Maya admitted, but it also taught me something. It taught me how important it is to work in a place that values its employees, that protects them instead of throwing them under the bus for customer complaints. Exactly, Michael said, nodding. That's exactly the kind of understanding I want in my staff. We have difficult customers sometimes, everyone does, but I never side with a customer who is abusive or dishonest. My staff know I have their backs as long as they do their jobs well and treat people with respect. He opened a folder on his desk. Let me tell you about Bella Vista. We're a fine dining establishment, but we're not pretentious. We want customers to have excellent food and excellent service in a comfortable atmosphere. We pay our servers well above minimum wage. We offer health insurance and paid sick days. We split tips fairly among all staff, and we treat everyone from dishwashers to head chef with equal respect. This sounded too good to be true. Maya had to ask, why? I mean, most restaurants don't do all that. Why is this place different? Michael smiled. Because I remember what it was like to work in places that didn't care about me. I remember working when I was sick because I couldn't afford to miss a shift. I remember managers who yelled at staff in front of customers. I remember wondering if I'd make enough in tips to pay my rent. When I got the opportunity to run my own place, I promised myself I would do better. My staff are not just employees. They're the heart of this restaurant. Without them, nothing works. Maya felt tears threatening again. She blinked them back. That sounds amazing. That sounds like exactly the kind of place I want to work. Good, Michael said. Because I'd like to offer you a position if you're interested. Maya stared at Michael, not sure she had heard correctly. You're offering me a job? Right now? Don't you want to see me work first or check my references or something? Michael smiled. Vin's recommendation means a lot to me. He's a good judge of character. And talking with you for the last 30 minutes, I can see why he believed in you. You're thoughtful, honest, and you understand what good service means. That's what I need. Maya felt like she might cry again, but she held it together. Yes, she said. Yes, I'm very interested. Thank you so much, and great, Michael said. He pulled out some papers from his desk. Let me go over the details with you. Starting pay is $18 per hour, plus tips. Most of our servers average an additional $15 to $20 per hour in tips during dinner service. We provide health insurance after 90 days. You get 5 paid sick days per year, and we're closed on major holidays so staff can spend time with their families. Training starts next week if that works for you. Maya did the math quickly in her head. Even at the low end, that was almost 3 times what she made at the diner. With that kind of money, she could pay her mother's bills on time. She could make her student loan payments without stress. She might even be able to save a little money for the first time in years. That works perfectly, Maya said. Her voice shook slightly with emotion. When would you need me to start? How about Monday? Michael suggested. That gives you a few days to handle things at your current job. Give notice or however you want to handle it. I know it can be awkward leaving a job even when you don't like. Maya nodded. Give notice to Mr. Harrison. She should probably do that professionally, even though he did not deserve it. But she would not burn bridges. That was not who she was. Michael stood up and extended his hand. Maya stood too and shook it. His handshake was firm and warm. Welcome to Bella Vista, Maya. I think you're going to do very well here. Thank you, Maya said. I promise I'll work hard. I won't let you down. I believe that, Michael said. Now let me have someone give you a tour of the place. You should see where you'll be working. He opened his office door and called for the hostess Maya had met earlier. Jennifer, can you show Maya around? She's joining our team on Monday. Jennifer's face lit up. That's wonderful. Yes, come with me. I'll show you everything. For the next 20 minutes, Jennifer walked Maya through the restaurant. She showed her the dining room layout, the kitchen, the staff break room where uniforms were kept. She introduced Maya to some of the other servers and the head chef. Everyone seemed genuinely friendly and welcoming. People smiled. They made jokes with each other. The atmosphere felt light and positive. We're like a family here, Jennifer explained. Michael takes care of us, so we take care of the restaurant and our customers. It's a good place to work. You'll see. When the tour was done, Maya thanked Jennifer and Michael again, then walked back to her car. She sat in the driver's seat for a moment, just breathing. This was real. She had a new job. A good job. A job that paid fairly and offered benefits and treated people with respect. She pulled out her phone and sent a text to Vin. I got the job. Starting Monday. I can't thank you enough for this opportunity. His response came quickly. Congratulations. I knew you would. You earned this. Enjoy the moment. Maya sat there reading his message over and over. Then she called her mother. Mom? I got it. I got the job. Her mother's voice was full of joy and relief. Oh, sweetheart, that's wonderful. Tell me everything. Maya described the interview, the restaurant, Michael's offer. Her mother listened, asking questions and celebrating each detail. By the end of the conversation, they were both crying happy tears. Things are going to get better now, Maya said. I can feel it. We're going to be okay. We're going to be better than okay, her mother said. You did this. You worked so hard and you never gave up. And now good things are finally happening. I'm so proud of you. After hanging up with her mother, Maya drove home. She spent the rest of the afternoon researching the medical bill organizations Vin had mentioned. She found one that specifically helped families dealing with cancer costs. She filled out their application, providing all the documentation they needed. Even if they could only help with a small portion of the bills, it would make a difference. That evening, Maya called the diner. She asked to speak with Mr. Harrison. He came to the phone sounding irritated. "Maya, are you calling to say you can't work tomorrow too?" "Actually, I'm calling to give my notice," Maya said calmly. "I'm leaving. My last day will be this Friday." There was silence on the other end. Then Mr. Harrison said, "You can't just leave like this. I need time to hire someone new." "I'm giving you almost a week's notice," Maya pointed out. "That's more than most people give for this kind of job. And honestly, after how you treated me, I don't owe you anything." "This is about yesterday, isn't it?" Mr. Harrison said. His voice became defensive. "Look, I apologized for that misunderstanding. I said we could move past it." "It wasn't a misunderstanding," Maya said. "You chose to believe a lying customer over me. You humiliated me in front of everyone. The only reason you backed down was because someone famous called you out on it. That's not the kind of place I want to work." Mr. Harrison was quiet again. Then he said, "Where are you going?" "Did Vin Diesel get you a job somewhere?" "That's none of your business," Maya said. "I'll work my remaining shifts professionally. But after Friday, I'm done. Thank you for the opportunity, but I'm moving on." She hung up before he could say anything else. Her hands were shaking slightly, but it felt good. She had stood up for herself. She had set a boundary. She was choosing something better. The next few days passed quickly. Maya worked her remaining shifts at the diner. Some customers asked her what happened with Vin Diesel. The story had spread both through word of mouth and through social media. Someone had posted video from that day on the internet, and it had gotten millions of views. In the video, you could see Vin standing up and defending Maya. You could see the truth being revealed. The comments were overwhelmingly supportive of Maya and critical of the diner's management. Mr. Harrison was not happy about the attention. He avoided talking to Maya directly. On her last day, he handed her a final paycheck and said stiffly, "Good luck wherever you're going." Maya just nodded and left. She did not feel angry anymore. She felt free. On Monday morning, Maya put on her new uniform and drove to Bella Vista. Her first day of training began at 10 o'clock. Michael met her in his office and walked her through all the restaurant's procedures. How to use their computer system. How to describe menu items. How to handle special requests. How to work as a team with the kitchen and other servers. The other staff welcomed her warmly. An experienced server named David was assigned to train her. He was patient and encouraging, showing her the best ways to do things. "Don't worry about being perfect right away," he said. "We all made mistakes when we started. The important thing is being willing to learn." Maya's first week flew by. She made some small mistakes, but nobody yelled at her or made her feel stupid. Instead, people helped her learn. They gave her tips and advice. They worked together as a real team. The customers were different too. Most of them were polite and appreciative. When there was an occasional difficult customer, Michael or the other managers handled it professionally. They did not let customers abuse the staff. Maya's first paycheck from Bella Vista was larger than anything she had ever earned at the diner. She used it to make a big payment on her mother's medical bills. The relief she felt was overwhelming. For the first time in months, she felt like she could breathe. 2 weeks into her new job, Maya received a call from the medical assistance organization she had applied to. They were approved to help with 30% of her mother's treatment costs. Combined with her better salary, this meant the crushing financial pressure was finally easing. Maya sent a text to Vin, updating him on everything. "The job is wonderful. The medical assistance came through. My mom is doing better. I can't believe how much my life has changed in such a short time. Thank you for seeing me when I was invisible to everyone else." His response made her smile. "You were never invisible. You just needed someone to pay attention. Keep being the good person you are. And remember, when you can, help the next person who needs it." Maya promised herself she would do exactly that. 3 months passed. Maya settled into her new life at Bella Vista. She became friends with her co-workers. She learned the ins and outs of fine dining service. She received excellent reviews from customers, and Michael praised her work ethic and attitude. She was promoted to senior server with a small raise. Her mother's cancer treatment was progressing well. The doctors were cautiously optimistic. With less financial stress and better medical support, her mother seemed stronger and more hopeful. One evening, Maya was serving a table when she noticed a young server named Alex in the corner crying quietly. Alex was new, only in her second week. Maya finished with her table and walked over. "Hey," Maya said gently. "Are you okay?" Alex wiped her eyes quickly. "I'm fine, I made a mistake with an order. The customer was really mean about it. I feel so stupid." Maya looked around and saw the customer in question, an older woman who was known for being difficult. Maya had dealt with her before. "Did anyone stand up for you? Did a manager talk to the customer?" "Jennifer tried," Alex said. "But I still feel terrible. Like maybe I'm not cut out for this work." Maya put a hand on Alex's shoulder. "Listen to me. You are cut out for this. Everyone makes mistakes, especially when they're new. It doesn't mean you're bad at your job, it means you're learning. And that customer? She's difficult with everyone. It's not personal." "Really?" Alex looked up with red eyes. "Really," Maya said firmly. "And I'm going to talk to Michael about her. We don't have to accept customers who are verbally abusive to staff. That's not okay." Alex smiled weakly. "Thank you. I was feeling so alone." "You're not alone," Maya said. "We're a team here. We look out for each other. That's what makes this place different." Maya talked to Michael about the situation. He listened carefully, then went to speak with the difficult customer himself. He explained politely but firmly that while they appreciated her business, they expected customers to treat staff with respect. If she could not do that, she would need to dine elsewhere. The customer left in a huff, but Michael did not care. "Maya's right," he told the staff. "We're a team. Nobody gets to treat you badly, customer or not." Later that night, as Maya was closing her section, Alex came up to her. "Thank you for standing up for me today. Nobody's ever done that before." Maya thought about Vin, about how he had stood up for her when nobody else would, about how one person paying attention could change everything. "Someone did it for me once," Maya said. "Now I'm doing it for you. And someday when you can, you'll do it for someone else. That's how it works. That's how we make things better." Alex nodded, understanding. Maya drove home that night feeling peaceful. Her life was not perfect. Her mother was still sick. Bills still had to be paid. There were still hard days and challenges. But she was no longer drowning. She had a good job that treated her with dignity. She had hope for the future. She had learned that kindness matters, that people matter, that standing up for what's right matters. Most importantly, she had learned that she did not have to accept being treated badly. She deserved respect. Everyone deserved respect. And sometimes, all it took was one person paying attention, one person speaking up, to change everything. Maya thought about that day in the diner, when she was crying and nobody helped until Vin Diesel walked through the door. He could have ignored her. He could have stayed out of it. But he chose to see her, to help her, to believe in her. And that choice had changed her life completely. Now it was her turn to be that person for someone else. To pay attention when others looked away. To speak up when others stayed silent. To help when others passed by. Because she remembered what it felt like to be invisible. To be blamed. To be alone. And she never wanted anyone else to feel that way if she could help it. That was the real gift Vin had given her. Not just a job or money or connections, but the understanding that one person choosing kindness could create ripples that spread far beyond that single moment. Could inspire others to do the same, could make the world just a little bit better, one act of decency at a time. Maya smiled as she pulled into her parking spot. Tomorrow she would visit her mother and tell her about helping Alex. Her mother would be proud. And Maya was proud of herself too. She had come so far from that crying waitress in a stained uniform, humiliated and alone. She had found her strength. She had found her voice. And she would use both to make sure that when someone needed help, someone would be there to stand up for them, just like someone had stood up for her.